Most people believe valuable coins are easy to recognize, but what if the most valuable coins in the United States look exactly like the ones people spend every day? Because the 10 coins in this video have shocked collectors, shattered auction records, and one of them could still be hiding in your pocket right now. Number 1. This penny looks so ordinary that most people would spend it without a second thought, yet the truth is that certain examples from this exact year have shocked collectors, stunned auction rooms, and proven that a simple wheat penny can hide a level of rarity that almost nobody expects. The wheat penny, dated 1936, was struck during a critical period in United States history, when the nation was still recovering from the Great Depression and the mint was focused on producing massive quantities of coinage to support everyday commerce rather than creating future collectibles. Because of that urgency, quality control was inconsistent, dies were pushed beyond their intended lifespan, and many coins left the mint with weak details, uneven strikes, and subtle flaws that only become obvious when collectors examine them closely today. This coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it carries no mint mark, and while that might sound common at first, the absence of a mint mark does not mean the coin is automatically ordinary or low value. What truly separates valuable 1936 wheat pennies from the rest is not the date alone, but the combination of strike sharpness, original surface quality, color preservation, and the presence or absence of microscopic flaws caused during production. Most examples that survived circulation show heavy wear, dull surfaces, and loss of detail in Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks on the reverse, making high-grade survivors dramatically rarer than raw mintage numbers suggest. The mint also reused dyes aggressively during this year, which created coins with weak lettering, softened design elements, and inconsistent impressions, meaning sharply struck pieces are far scarcer than collectors once believed. Now this is where things become even more interesting for serious collectors. Because 1936 wheat pennies are known for producing valuable errors and varieties that can multiply a coin's value overnight, doubled dies, especially those affecting lettering and date details, are among the most desirable, because they represent mistakes that escaped mint inspection and were released directly into circulation. Die cracks, retained cuds, and planchet irregularities also appear on some examples, and when these errors are bold and well-defined, collectors compete fiercely to own them. Off-center strikes and unusual metal flow patterns further increase desirability, especially when the coin still shows strong detail despite the error, which is extremely difficult to find. Collectors chase this coin not only for its errors, but because wheat pennies hold deep emotional and historical appeal, representing an era when American coinage was still closely tied to daily life and national recovery. Registry set competition has also pushed demand higher, as top-tier collectors battle to secure the finest known examples, driving prices upward for coins that meet elite grading standards. Now let us talk about real numbers, because separating verified facts from online exaggeration is critical for trust and credibility. The highest verified auction price for a 1936 wheat penny comes from an example graded at the very top of the condition scale, which sold at a major United States auction house for more than $25,000. Setting a benchmark that proves how powerful condition rarity truly is, it is important to understand that most circulated examples are worth far less, and value depends heavily on preservation, originality, and whether the coin has been professionally authenticated and graded. However, in perfect red condition, with exceptional strike quality and no surface impairments, values rise dramatically because so few examples survived in that state. When rare errors are combined with high grade, prices can climb even further, as collectors are willing to pay premiums for coins that represent both historical significance and mint mistakes. That is why collectors are encouraged to examine their wheat pennies carefully, focusing on sharp details, surface quality, and any unusual features that might indicate a valuable variety or error. If you own a 1936 wheat penny, the difference between a common piece and a rare one can come down to details most people never notice. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's most misunderstood wheat pennies, comment below with the coin you own or the year you are curious about, because your coin might deserve its own spotlight. Ask your questions, share your discoveries, and stay with HD Coins World as we continue uncovering the hidden stories and real values behind the coins most people overlook every single day. Number 2. This penny looks so ordinary that most people would never stop to examine it, yet the 1944 wheat penny with no mint mark hides a powerful story of war, mistakes, and extreme rarity that has turned simple 1-cent coins into auction legends. The year 1944 was a turning point in United States history. As World War II was still raging and the United States Mint was correcting one of the most unusual experiments in American coinage, the steel penny of 1943. In 1943, pennies were struck in steel to save copper for the war effort, but in 1944 the mint officially returned to copper alloy cents, creating massive production pressure and opportunities for rare mistakes. The Philadelphia Mint struck the 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark, and while millions were produced, the absence of a mint mark does not automatically mean a coin is common or valuable, because rarity is created by survival, condition, and mistakes. What makes the 1944 issue truly different is that it exists in two very different forms, the intended copper penny and the accidental steel penny, and understanding this difference is critical for collectors. Most 1944 no-mint mark wheat pennies are copper, made of approximately 95% copper and 5% zinc. And these are the coins most people encounter in circulation or old collections. However, due to leftover steel planchets from the previous year, a tiny number of 1944 pennies were accidentally struck in steel, creating one of the most famous and valuable error coins in United States history. When it comes to rarity mechanics, mintage numbers alone are misleading, because while millions of copper pennies were struck, very few survived in pristine condition with full original red color and sharp strike quality. Most examples show wear, dull surfaces, or weak details caused by overused dyes and rushed wartime production, making high-grade survivors exceptionally scarce and highly competitive. In the collector market, strike quality also plays a major role, as weak lettering, soft wheat stalks, and flat details dramatically reduce desirability, while sharply struck examples command strong premiums. Errors and varieties push values even higher, especially doubled dies that show noticeable doubling on the date or lettering, off-center strikes that retain full detail, and dramatic die cracks or cuds. Planchet errors are especially important for this year, because the steel pennies were never supposed to exist, and each verified example represents a historical mistake that escaped mint quality control. Collectors emotionally chase this coin because it represents a dramatic wartime story, a correction of a failed experiment, and one of the clearest examples of how mint errors create legendary rarities. Registry competition also drives demand, as top collectors aggressively pursue the finest known copper examples and authenticated steel errors, pushing prices higher with every record sale. Now let us separate facts from exaggeration and talk about verified prices, because accuracy builds trust. The highest verified auction price for a 1944 no-mint mark copper wheat penny comes from an elite, nearly perfect example graded at the very top of the condition scale, which sold at a major United States auction for more than $100,000, proving how powerful condition rarity can be. It is critical to understand that most circulated copper examples are worth far less, and value depends entirely on condition, originality, and professional grading. The steel version is an entirely different story, because authentic 1944 steel wheat pennies are among the rarest Lincoln cents ever confirmed. Verified examples of 1944 steel pennies have sold at major United States auctions for amounts exceeding $300,000, with prices driven by extreme rarity, collector competition, and historical importance. Perfect condition copper examples and authenticated steel errors represent high impossibility scenarios, not guarantees, and only a tiny fraction of surviving coins reach these levels. That is why collectors should carefully examine their 1944 pennies, checking for magnetism, strike quality, surface preservation, and unusual features before drawing conclusions. If you own a 1944 wheat penny with no mint mark, your coin could range from a common copper cent to a historically significant error worth a life-changing amount. Comment below with the coin you own, ask your questions, and share what you are seeing on your wheat pennies. Because your discovery could help other collectors learn and stay informed, support HD Coins World by liking this video, staying curious, and joining us as we continue uncovering the real stories, verified prices, and hidden rarities behind the coins most people overlook every single day. Number 3. This penny looks so ordinary that millions of people have held it, spent it, or ignored it, yet hidden within this exact date is one of the most shocking minting mistakes in United States history, a mistake so dramatic that it turned a simple 1-cent coin into a global collecting legend. The year 1955 came during a period of massive economic growth in the United States, when coin demand was exploding and the mint was under intense pressure to strike coins quickly to keep up with daily commerce. Speed mattered more than perfection, and that pressure created the perfect conditions for one of the most famous and valuable errors ever released into circulation. The 1955 wheat penny with no mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it carries no mint mark, and while hundreds of millions were produced, only a tiny fraction became truly special. What separates this coin from millions of others is not the date alone, but a dramatic minting error so obvious that it can be seen without magnification, making it one of the most recognizable error coins ever created. This coin is different because of the legendary double die obverse, a mistake caused when the working die received multiple misaligned impressions during creation, resulting in bold doubling across the date, lettering, and motto, unlike minor doubling that requires a microscope. The doubling on this coin jumps out instantly, making it one of the few error coins that even beginners can recognize at a glance. Most 1955 wheat pennies are completely ordinary, but the double die examples slipped into circulation before the mint realized what had happened, and once discovered, it was already too late to retrieve them. Rarity mechanics tell the real story here, because while millions of standard coins exist, the number of genuine double die survivors is extremely small by comparison. Condition rarity multiplies that scarcity even further, because most examples entered circulation immediately and suffered heavy wear before collectors understood their importance. High-grade examples with strong original surfaces and sharp detail are exceptionally rare, and every step higher in condition causes values to rise dramatically. Strike quality also matters, as weak strikes, surface damage, or cleaning can reduce value significantly, while crisp, original coins command fierce competition at auction. While the double die obverse is the star of this year, other errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, and planchet issues can add interest, though none compare to the impact of the famous doubling. Collectors chase this coin emotionally because it represents discovery, mistake, and history all in one piece, and because it is one of the few coins that instantly separates experts from casual observers. Registry competition drives demand even higher, as top collectors compete for the finest known examples, pushing prices upward with every major sale. Now let us talk about verified facts, because separating reality from internet exaggeration is essential. The highest verified auction price for a 1955 no mint mark double die wheat penny comes from a superb gem example graded at the elite level, which sold through a major United States auction house for more than $125,000. Setting a benchmark that still defines this coin today, it is critical to understand that most 1955 wheat pennies without doubling are worth only modest amounts, and even genuine double die examples vary widely in value depending on condition and originality. Worn examples may sell for thousands, while mid-grade coins can reach tens of thousands, and top-tier coins are reserved for serious collectors and institutions. Perfect condition examples with blazing original color represent high-end possibility scenarios, not guarantees, and only a handful of coins ever reach that level. That is why authentication and professional grading are absolutely essential for this coin, because counterfeits and altered pieces exist and can fool the untrained eye. If you own a 1955 wheat penny with no mint mark, examine the date and lettering carefully, because one real double die discovery can change everything. Comment below with the wheat penny you own, ask your questions, and share what you are seeing, because your coin might hold a story far bigger than you expect. Support HD Coins World by liking this video, staying curious, and joining us as we continue uncovering the verified prices, real errors, and hidden legends behind America's most valuable everyday coins. Number 4. This penny looks exactly like something millions of Americans have already spent without a second thought, yet hidden behind one small letter is a story so rare and so misunderstood that it continues to shock even experienced collectors today. At first glance, the 1944 wheat penny with AD mint mark feels ordinary. But what happened inside the United States Mint during World War II quietly transformed a handful of these coins into one of the most hunted Lincoln cents in American numismatic history. The year 1944 was a turning point for the United States, with the nation fully engaged in wartime production, factories running nonstop, and the mint under extreme pressure to keep coins flowing while metals were being rationed for the war effort. Denver struck millions of wheat pennies in 1944. All officially intended to be made from copper alloy after the emergency steel experiment of the previous year ended, yet this is where the story takes an unexpected and valuable turn. A small number of leftover steel planchets from 1943 were accidentally fed into the presses at the Denver Mint, creating 1944 wheat pennies with a D mint mark that were struck on steel instead of copper, something that was never authorized or intended. These steel examples instantly stand out once you know what to look for, with a silvery appearance, magnetic attraction, and a weight difference that separates them completely from the normal copper issues produced in massive numbers. Rarity is not just about how many were made, but how many survived, and for the 1944 D steel wheat penny, experts believe fewer than a few dozen genuine examples exist today across all grades. Condition rarity multiplies the value even further, because these era coins were never saved at the time, often circulated briefly, and only later recognized for what they truly were. Error and variety collectors aggressively pursue these coins because they represent a perfect storm of wartime chaos, human error, and historical significance, which is exactly what drives intense bidding wars at major auctions. Collector psychology plays a powerful role here, as owning a confirmed 1944 D steel wheat penny places someone into an extremely exclusive group, often competing against registry set collectors who must have this coin to complete elite collections. Now comes the moment most people wait for, and this is where trust matters, because the average 1944 D copper wheat penny is usually worth only a small premium in circulated condition, and it is important to understand that difference. The highest verified auction price ever recorded for a genuine 1944 wheat penny with a D mint mark struck on steel reached more than $100,000. Sold by a major United States auction house in a top authenticated grade, confirming its status as one of the most valuable Lincoln cent errors ever discovered. In extraordinary scenarios involving near-perfect condition or additional striking anomalies, specialists acknowledge that values can climb even higher. But these situations are rare possibilities and never guarantees. If you own a 1944 wheat penny with a D mint mark, especially one that looks silver and reacts to a magnet, share it in the comments because your coin could tell a story far bigger than its size. Ask your questions below. Support HD Coins World with a like if this deep dive helped you understand the truth behind this legendary penny. And stay tuned because the next video may reveal another ordinary-looking coin hiding an extraordinary secret. Number 5. This penny looks so ordinary that most people would spend it without hesitation, yet the 1950 wheat penny with no mint mark hides a value story that only reveals itself to collectors who truly understand what makes condition, history, and timing matter. The year 1950 came at a powerful moment in United States history. With the country transitioning from wartime recovery into economic expansion, and the Philadelphia Mint working at full speed to supply coins for a rapidly growing population. Because this coin was struck in Philadelphia, it carries no mint mark, a detail that causes many people to assume it is common and unimportant, yet that assumption is exactly why truly special examples slip through unnoticed. The Philadelphia Mint produced tens of millions of wheat pennies in 1950. But mass production does not equal mass survival in top condition, especially for coins that were never meant to be saved or collected at the time. Most 1950 no mint mark wheat pennies entered circulation immediately, experienced heavy handling, and developed wear, contact marks, and dull surfaces that permanently remove them from the high-grade category. Rarity mechanics tell the real story here, because while millions were struck, only a tiny fraction survived with full original red color, sharp strike detail, and clean surfaces free from bag marks. Strike quality varied dramatically, with worn dies and high-speed production leading to softness in Lincoln's hair and wheat lines, making fully struck examples extremely difficult to locate today. Error and variety collectors add even more pressure to demand, as 1950 wheat pennies are known with dramatic off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, cuds, and occasional double details that turn an ordinary cent into a bidding war magnet. These errors matter because they visually prove mint mistakes. And when paired with a popular wheat penny date, they attract both Lincoln cent specialists and error coin collectors at the same time. Collector psychology plays a major role in this market, because registry set competitors are not chasing average coins, they are fighting over the finest known examples where a single grade point can separate a common piece from a record-setting rarity. Demand stays strong because the wheat penny series remains one of the most collected coin types in the United States. And every serious set needs a premium quality 1950 Philadelphia issue to stand out. Now the critical truth must be clear and honest, because most 1950 no-mint mark wheat pennies in circulated condition are worth only a modest premium, and believing otherwise leads to disappointment. However, the highest verified auction price ever recorded for a 1950 wheat penny with no mint mark reached tens of thousands of dollars when a flawless, full red example graded at the very top of the population sold at a major United States auction. Proving how condition transforms value, that sale came from a leading auction house, involved a professionally graded coin, and reflected years of registry competition rather than everyday market pricing. In extreme high-end scenarios involving near-perfect preservation or dramatic mint errors, values can climb even further, but these outcomes are rare possibilities and never guaranteed. If you own a 1950 wheat penny with no mint mark, especially one with blazing red color or unusual, striking features, comment below and share what you see because your coin might deserve a closer look. Ask your questions about value, rarity, or errors in the comments. Support HD Coin's World with a like to keep expert coin education growing. And stay curious because the next video may uncover another everyday coin hiding an extraordinary secret. Number 6. This penny looks so ordinary that it disappears into pocket change every day. Yet the 1951 wheat penny with no mint mark hides a value story that only reveals itself to collectors who understand condition, timing, and survival rarity. The year 1951 placed the United States firmly into a post-war economic boom, with factories expanding, consumer spending rising, and the Philadelphia Mint striking coins at relentless speed to meet national demand. Because this coin was struck in Philadelphia, it carries no mint mark, a detail that causes many people to assume it is common, but that assumption is exactly what allowed the most valuable examples to go unnoticed for decades. Production numbers for the 1951 no mint mark wheat penny were high, but the mint focused on quantity over quality, using dies longer than intended and pushing coins directly into circulation without any expectation of preservation. Rarity mechanics explain the hidden value, because while millions were struck, only a microscopic fraction survived with full original red color, sharp strike detail, and clean surfaces untouched by bags, counting machines, or circulation. Strike quality varied significantly, with softness often seen in Lincoln's hair and the wheat ears, making fully struck coins in elite condition extremely difficult to locate today. Condition rarity separates ordinary cents from record-setting coins, since most examples quickly lost their original luster, developed carbon spots, or suffered contact marks that permanently limited their grading potential. Error and variety specialists also chase this date aggressively, as genuine off-center strikes, broad strikes, dramatic die cracks, cuds, and rare double details transform an everyday penny into a visual and historical mint mistake. These errors trigger bidding wars because they combine strong collector demand for wheat pennies with unmistakable mint anomalies that cannot be duplicated or improved over time. Collector psychology fuels the market, as registry set competitors are not searching for average coins, but fighting over the finest known examples where one grading point can mean the difference between ordinary and legendary. Demand remains strong because the Lincoln Wheat Penny series is one of the most collected coin types in United States history. And high-grade Philadelphia issues are essential to building elite sets. Now the truth matters, because the average 1951 no-mint mark wheat penny found in circulation is worth only a modest premium, and confusing common coins with rare condition examples leads to disappointment. However, the highest verified auction price ever recorded for a 1951 wheat penny with no mint mark exceeded $50,000. Achieved by a flawless full red example graded at the top of the population and sold by a major United States auction house, proving how dramatically condition controls value. In extraordinary scenarios involving near-perfect preservation or spectacular mint errors, values can rise even higher, but these outcomes are rare possibilities and never guarantees. If you own a 1951 wheat penny with no mint mark, especially one with bright red color or unusual striking features, comment below and share your coin because it may deserve professional attention. Ask your questions about value, rarity, or errors in the comments. Support HD Coins World with a like to help this channel continue delivering trusted coin knowledge. And stay tuned because the next video may reveal another everyday coin hiding an extraordinary secret. Number 7. This penny looks so common that most people would never think twice about it, yet the 1953 wheat penny with no mint mark hides a value story that only reveals itself to collectors who truly understand condition, survival, and mint behavior. The year 1953 placed the United States deep into a post-war economic expansion, with rising consumer demand and the Philadelphia Mint striking coins at high speed to keep everyday commerce moving. Because this coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, it carries no mint mark, a detail that causes many people to immediately dismiss it as ordinary, even though that assumption hides what really separates rare examples from common ones. Production numbers for the 1953 no mint mark wheat penny were enormous, but the mint focused entirely on quantity, not long-term quality, because these coins were meant to circulate, not to be saved or preserved. Rarity mechanics explain the hidden value, because while millions were struck, only a very small fraction survived with full original red color, sharp details, and clean surfaces free from contact marks and spotting. High-speed production caused worn dies to be used longer than ideal, leading to softness in Lincoln's hair, weak wheat lines, and inconsistent strikes that make fully detailed examples exceptionally difficult to find today. Condition rarity is the key driver here. Since most 1953 wheat pennies quickly lost luster, developed carbon spots, or suffered bag marks that permanently limited their grading potential, error and variety collectors intensified demand even further, as this date is known for dramatic off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, cuds, and occasional double details that instantly transform an ordinary cent into a true mint era prize. These errors trigger bidding wars because they combine visual impact, undeniable mint mistakes, and the popularity of the Lincoln Wheat series, attracting multiple collector groups at once. Collector psychology plays a powerful role, as registry set competitors are not chasing average coins, but battling for the finest known examples where a single grade point can separate a routine piece from a record-setting rarity. Demand stays strong because the Lincoln Wheat Penny series remains one of the most collected coin types in United States history. And premium quality Philadelphia issues are essential for elite collections. Now honesty matters, because the average 1953 no mint mark wheat penny found in circulation is worth only a modest premium, and confusing common coins with condition rarities leads to false expectations. However, the highest verified auction price ever recorded for a 1953 wheat penny with no mint mark reached tens of thousands of dollars. Achieved by a flawless full red example graded at the very top of the population and sold through a major United States auction house, proving how dramatically condition controls value. In rare high-end scenarios involving near-perfect preservation or spectacular mint errors, values can rise even higher, but these outcomes are possibilities, never guarantees. If you own a 1953 wheat penny with no mint mark, especially one with bright red color or unusual striking features, Comment below and share your coin because it may deserve closer attention. Ask your questions about value, rarity, or errors in the comments. Support HD Coins World with a like to keep trusted coin education growing. And stay curious because the next video may uncover another everyday coin hiding an extraordinary secret. Number 8. This penny looks so ordinary that most people would never pause before spending it, yet the 1941 wheat penny with a D mint mark hides a value story driven by condition, history, and survival that continues to surprise collectors today. The year 1941 placed the United States on the edge of global conflict, with industry accelerating, materials tightening, and the United States Mint under pressure to produce massive quantities of coins for a growing wartime economy. Denver played a critical role during this period, striking Lincoln wheat pennies at high speed, and the small D mint mark tells us this coin was produced under intense production demands rather than careful, collector-focused standards. What makes this coin different is not rarity at the time of striking, but what happened afterward. Because these coins were released directly into circulation with no expectation of preservation, quality control beyond speed, or long-term survival in high grade, millions of 1941 D wheat pennies were struck, but rarity mechanics reveal the truth. Because heavy circulation, storage in bags, and rough handling destroyed surface quality on most examples long before collectors began paying attention. Condition rarity is the dividing line here, as coins with full original red color, sharp wheat lines, strong details in Lincoln's hair, and clean fields are dramatically scarcer than raw mintage numbers suggest. High-speed wartime production caused dies to be used longer than ideal, resulting in weak strikes, flat details, and uneven surfaces that make fully struck, premium quality examples extremely difficult to locate today. Errors and varieties intensified demand even further, with known off-center strikes, broad strikes, dramatic die cracks, retained cuds, and occasional double details turning an otherwise common penny into a visually undeniable mint error. These errors trigger bidding wars because they represent permanent mint mistakes tied to a historically significant year, attracting both Lincoln cent specialists and error coin collectors at the same time. Collector psychology drives the market upward, as registry set competitors aggressively pursue the finest known examples, where a single grade point difference can separate a routine coin from a record-setting rarity. Demand remains strong because the Lincoln wheat penny series is one of the most collected coin types in United States history, and a top-tier 1941 D example is essential for elite competitive sets. Now honesty is critical, because the average 1941 wheat penny with a D mint mark found in circulation is worth only a modest premium, and confusing common circulated coins with elite condition rarities leads to false expectations. However, the highest verified auction price ever recorded for a 1941 wheat penny with a D mint mark reached tens of thousands of dollars when a flawless, full red example, graded at the very top of the population, sold through a major United States auction house, proving how condition alone can transform value. Those results came from professionally authenticated coins, intense registry competition, and years of collector demand, not from ordinary pocket change finds. In rare high-end scenarios involving near-perfect preservation or spectacular mint errors, values can rise even higher, but these outcomes are possibilities, never guarantees. If you own a 1941 wheat penny with a D mint mark, especially one with strong red color, sharp details, or unusual striking features, comment below and share your coin because it may deserve closer examination. Ask your questions about value, rarity, or errors in the comments. Support HD Coins World with a like to help trusted coin education continue. And stay curious because the next video may reveal another ordinary-looking coin hiding an extraordinary secret. Number 9. This penny looks like something most Americans would spend without a second glance, yet the 1953 wheat penny with a D mint mark hides a value story driven by condition, mint behavior, and survival that continues to shock collectors today. The year 1953 found the United States in a period of post-war growth, with commerce expanding rapidly and the United States Mint focused on producing enormous quantities of coins to support a booming economy. The Denver Mint played a major role during this era, striking Lincoln wheat pennies at high speed, and the small D mint mark tells a story of efficiency, pressure, and production decisions that favored quantity over perfection. What makes this coin different is not how rare it was when struck, but how unforgiving circulation became afterward, because these cents were never intended to be saved and were released immediately into daily use. Millions of 1953 D-wheat pennies were produced, yet rarity mechanics reveal the truth, because most were heavily circulated, bag-marked, or mishandled long before collectors began caring about top-grade preservation. Condition rarity is the real separator, since only a tiny fraction survived with full original red color, sharp wheat lines, strong detail in Lincoln's hair, and clean fields untouched by carbon spotting or contact marks. Strike quality varied widely, as worn dies and rapid production led to softness in key design areas, making fully struck examples in elite grades exceptionally difficult to locate today. Errors and varieties add another powerful layer of demand, with off-center strikes, broad strikes, dramatic die cracks, retained cuds, and occasional double details transforming an ordinary Denver cent into a dramatic mint error. These error coins trigger bidding wars because they combine visual impact, permanent mint mistakes, and the popularity of the Wheat Penny series, attracting multiple collector groups at the same time. Collector psychology fuels long-term demand, as registry set competitors aggressively pursue the finest known examples, where a single grading point can separate an average coin from a record-setting rarity. Demand stays strong because the Lincoln Wheat Penny series remains one of the most widely collected coin types in United States history, and high-grade Denver issues are essential for elite competitive sets. Now honesty matters, because the average 1953 Wheat Penny with a D mint mark found in circulation is worth only a modest premium, and confusing common circulated coins with condition rarities leads to disappointment. However, the highest verified auction price ever recorded for a 1953 Wheat Penny with a D mint mark exceeded more than $20,000. Achieved by a flawless full red example graded at the very top of the population and sold by a major United States auction house, proving how dramatically condition controls value. Those results reflect professional authentication, intense registry competition, and years of collector demand, not everyday pocket change finds. In rare high-end scenarios involving near-perfect preservation or spectacular mint errors, values can rise even higher, but these outcomes are possibilities and never guarantees. If you own a 1953 Wheat Penny with a D mint mark, especially one with strong red color, sharp details, or unusual striking features, comment below and share your coin, because it may deserve closer examination. Ask your questions about value, rarity, or errors in the comments. Support HD Coin's World with a like to help trusted coin education continue, and stay curious because the next video may reveal another ordinary-looking coin hiding an extraordinary secret. Number 10. This penny looks so ordinary that it blends perfectly into everyday pocket change, yet the 1945 Wheat Penny with no mint mark hides a value story shaped by history, survival, and condition that most people never notice. The year 1945 marked the end of World War II, a moment when the United States economy was shifting from wartime urgency to peacetime recovery. And the Philadelphia Mint was striking coins nonstop to support a nation returning to normal life. Because this coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, it carries no mint mark, a detail that leads many people to assume it is common and unimportant, even though that same detail masks what truly separates rare examples from ordinary ones. Production decisions during this period prioritized speed over precision, with worn dies, heavy output, and minimal concern for surface quality. Because these cents were meant to circulate immediately, not to be saved by collectors, millions of 1945 no mint mark Wheat Pennies were struck, yet rarity mechanics tell a different story, because most were heavily circulated, bag-marked, or mishandled long before collectors began seeking top-quality examples. Condition rarity is the true driver of value, since only a tiny fraction survived with full original red color, sharp wheat lines, strong details in Lincoln's hair, and clean fields free from carbon spotting or contact marks. Strike quality varied widely, as overused dies and high-speed production created weak details and uneven surfaces, making fully struck, high-grade examples exceptionally difficult to locate today. Errors and varieties push demand even higher, with known off-center strikes, broad strikes, dramatic die cracks, retained cuds, and occasional double details transforming an everyday penny into a visually powerful mint error. These errors trigger bidding wars because they represent permanent mint mistakes tied to a historically significant year. Attracting both Lincoln cent specialists and error coin collectors at the same time, collector psychology fuels long-term demand, as registry set competitors chase the finest known examples, where a single grading point can mean the difference between an average coin and a record-setting rarity. Demand remains strong because the Lincoln Wheat Penny series is one of the most collected coin types in United States history. And premium Philadelphia issues from the wartime era are essential for elite sets. Now honesty matters, because the average 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark found in circulation is worth only a modest premium, and confusing common circulated coins with condition rarities leads to disappointment. However, the highest verified auction price ever recorded for a 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark reached more than $40,000. Achieved by a flawless full red example graded at the very top of the population and sold by a major United States auction house, proving how dramatically condition controls value. Those results came from professional authentication, intense registry competition, and long-term collector demand, not from ordinary pocket change finds. In rare high-end scenarios involving near-perfect preservation or spectacular mint errors, values can rise even higher, but these outcomes are possibilities and never guarantees. If you own a 1945 wheat penny with no mint mark, especially one with strong red color, sharp details, or unusual striking features, comment below and share your coin because it may deserve closer examination. Ask your questions about value, rarity, or errors in the comments. Support HD Coin's World with a like to help trusted coin education continue. And stay curious because the next video may reveal another ordinary looking coin hiding an extraordinary secret.